Okay, I'll chant. You can repeat. Om Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraikapanaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Geetamritaduhe Namaha कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः यत् श्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम् श्रीभगवानुवाच अशोच्यानन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाससे गतासून् अगतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पंडिताः विहाय कामान् यः सर्वान् पुमांश्चरति निःस्पृहः निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः स शान्तिमधिगच्छति योगयुक्तो विशुद्धात्मा विजितात्मा जितेन्द्रियः सर्वभूतात्मभूतात्मा कुर्वन्नपि न लिप्यते उद्धरेदात्मनात्मानं नात्मानमवसादयेत् आत्मैव ह्यात्मनो बन्धुः आत्मैव रिपुरात्मनः अहमात्मा गुडाकेश सर्वभूताशयस्थितः अहमादिश्च मध्यं च भूतानाम् अन्त एव च भोक्तारं यज्ञतपसां सर्वलोकमहेश्वरम् सुहृदं सर्वभूतानां ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिमृच्छति एतु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्पराः अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसाम् अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखः सुखः क्षमी सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः हरिः ओम तत्सत्. Good. So we have been seeing the essence of the Gita, and in reply to Arjuna's question, Krishna gives the summary of the entire Gita, na anushochanti panditaha, that the wise man does not grieve. So the essence of the Gita is complete freedom from all sorrow through wisdom. What wisdom? Wisdom about who am I, who is God, what is this world, what is the purpose of life, that wisdom, right? Once you have that wisdom, then you will have complete freedom from all sorrow. Now, what prevents us from having this wisdom? What prevents us from manifesting the wisdom? There are three blockages, right? One is dependence on this world for security, then dependence upon this world for pleasure, and a wrong idea of our individuality. We think we are limited individuals, which is not correct. So there are three yogas to cater to each of these three roadblocks. So to free us from the dependence upon this world for security, we have karma yoga, yoga yuktena vishuddhatma, right? And then to free us from depending upon this world for pleasure, we have dhyana yoga, vijitatma jitendriya. And then to get us to know the true nature of ourselves, we have jnana yoga, and by that we will know sarva bhutatma bhutatma, right? We will see ourselves in all living beings and all living beings in ourselves. So this karma yoga, dhyana yoga, jnana yoga is the path, right? And then we saw that to analyze this, to understand this better, we saw the Panchakosha Viveka, and then we saw our nature as pure consciousness. Then we saw Ishvara, right, as the pure consciousness residing in the heart of all living beings. And also we saw Ishvara as the personal God, the omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent, and compassionate Lord. Now, then the Lord said that if you do karma yoga and dhyana yoga as offerings to me, involving me as a part of bhakti. So basically, jnana, karma yoga, bhakti yoga sahita karma yoga, and bhakti yoga sahita dhyana yoga. So if you do karma yoga and dhyana yoga along with bhakti, then he said, you don't need to do a separate jnana yoga. I will take care of that. Which basically means to save us from the ocean of samsara, jnana is needed, right? Because jnanad eva kaivalyam. Kaivalyam is possible only through jnana. There is no other way. But then what Krishna says is, this is a graded approach. By this graded approach, you will very easily and naturally get that jnana. And in a way, Krishna says, I will give you that jnana. So when he says, Tesham aham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat, like I will save those people from the mrityu samsara sagarat, the Lord has to use jnana only to save. Even to save, the Lord has to use jnana only by letting us know the true nature of ourselves. That is how the Lord can save us, because there is no other way of saving. Jnanad eva kaivalyam. Now, that giving the knowledge to us, the Lord will give instead of we struggling for it. And how will the Lord give? So in the 10th chapter, Krishna says, like, the knowledge will shine forth from within for people who meditate upon the Lord in heart. Right? So you do karma yoga, you offer all actions to the Lord, and you do meditation upon the Lord. And then once you do these two sadhanas, then slowly you will proceed on the path, and you will understand that it is Ishvara who is everything in this universe. There is nothing in this universe other than Ishvara. Then you will go towards saying, even I don't exist as an individual. It is Ishvara alone who is there. Now, when your individuality has dissolved in the universal Ishvara, then Ishvara will show you that it is as pure consciousness that alone exists. So this way, the graded approach of from an Artha and Arthartha Bhakti to Jijnasa Bhakti to Jnani Bhakti, it becomes a easy approach, and that is what Gita recommends, right? So finally, we saw this. This is the core Mayi Aveshita Chetasam, right? The mind which is fully soaked in the Lord. Now, so the Lord says, you develop Mayi Aveshita Chetasam, and I will solve all the other problems for you. Like, basically, I will give you the knowledge. Now our problem is reduced to how to develop Mayi Aveshita Chetasam, how to develop this mind which is fully soaked in the thought of God. Now, to do that, Krishna gives two sadhanas, right? Etu sarvani karmani mayi sanyasya matparaha and ananyenaiva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate. Okay, so matparaha, keeping me as the goal, right? Having me as the goal, offer all actions to me. So this is what we do in all our external transactions. Then that is not sufficient. We also have to do meditation. Ananyenaiva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate. Right? So these are the two wings, right? Just like a bird has got two wings, these are the two wings by which the Gita sadhana proceeds. So normally, like, if you ask a common man, what is the teaching of the Gita? Everyone will say, very simple, do your duty without expectation of the result. That is basically like this one, right? Etu sarvani karmani mayi sanyasya matparaha. Do all your duties as offering to the Lord, right? Not having the result as the goal, but having God as the goal, right? That, right? So basically, na karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. That ma phaleshu kadachana is what is presented here as matparaha. Instead of having the local immediate goal, immediate result as your goal, you have God as the goal, which means, like, don't work for immediate results. You work as an offering to the Lord. So this is only one half of the Gita teaching, right? Do your duty without an eye on the results. Do everything as an offering to the Lord. This is only one half of the teaching. The other half of the teaching, very often people oversee, they ignore, which is equally important. Otherwise, it is not complete, which is ananyenaiva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate. Meditate upon the Lord. So, karma yoga and dhyana yoga both are important. One alone is not sufficient, right? Krishna gives very, very clearly both are needed, right? So, now we saw karma yoga in very detailed last week, right? We saw what is karma yoga, right? Why should we do karma yoga? How we are already indebted to this universe and how we need to uh, pay back as yajna, then do give more than what we take as dana, then tapas. So these three, yajna, dana, tapas, these are the core, and yajna, dana, tapas we need to do as an offering to the Lord, and swadharma, right? So we saw all that. So today we will go and we will see in detail the second aspect of the spiritual sadhana according to Gita, which is Dhyana Yoga, which is meditation. So Karma Yoga and Dhyana Yoga, they are the two wings, right, of this spiritual sadhana according to Gita, right? So these two, each one will support the other, right? So let us say you do meditation 1 hour a day, rest of the 23 hours is Karma Yoga. Now, the 23 hours Karma Yoga will support this 1 hour of Dhyana Yoga, and this 1 hour of Dhyana Yoga will support this rest of the time of Karma Yoga. You cannot do one without the other. Like, you cannot expect that you just lead a random life throughout the 23 hours and then you want to sit and meditate, your mind will not obey you. Similarly, like without this battery charging, this is like charging your cell phone battery, right? Without charging the battery for 1 hour, you cannot expect your mind to be in a karma yoga mood for rest of the 23 hours. So you need this also, you need this also. You cannot have only one or the other, right? Both are needed. Only then spiritual progress will happen. Each will support the other. Okay. So this is what Dhyana Yoga is about, and we will get into the details of Dhyana Yoga. So this is the shloka which we took. Santushta satatam yogi yatatma dridanischayah mayyarpita mano buddhihi yomat bhaktas same priyah. Now, as I told you in the beginning, like Gita is more like a hologram, right? Now, the three yogas, right? We have this Karma Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Jnana Yoga, will kind of keep repeating and in a very holographic manner. So, like say, for example, the previous shloka we saw Adveshta Sarvabhutana Maitra Karunayevacha Nirmamo Nirahankarahas, right? Now, that, let me go to that. Okay. So, this also can be interpreted into the three. Suppose, see, we saw that we need to develop three things: Sanniyam Yendriya Gramam, Sarvatra Samabuddhi, and Sarvabhuta Hiterataha. So, in one way, if you look at this, Adveshta Sarvabhutana Maitra Karna Evacha is a commentary on Sarvabhuta Hiterataha. Okay. And Nirmamo Nirahankaraha is a commentary on Sanniyam Yendriya Gramam. Samadukka Sukha Kshami is another way of saying Sarvatra Samabuddhi. So that way, one way to understand this shloka is to map those three to these three. Okay. That is one way of doing it, right? So basically, like the entire three prerequisites which Krishna said is needed for a spiritual life, right? Sanniyam Yendriya Gramam. So complete control over your mind and sense organs. That is nothing but Nirmamo Nirahankaraha. And he said Sarvatra Samabuddhi, right? So equanimity in all situations. That is nothing but Samadukka Sukha Kshami. And then he said Sarvabhuta Hiterataha, right? So you seek the welfare of all living beings. That is nothing but Adveshta Sarvabhutana Maitra Karnayevacha. Okay. So that way you can interpret these three as a restatement of those 3 points. Similarly, if you come this one here also, Santushta Satatam Yogi Yatatma Drida Nischayah Mayarpita Mano Buddhihi Yomat Bhakta Same Priyaha. Right? So here we can interpret this one as Santushta Satatam Yogi, right? That as the summary of Karma Yoga. Santushta Satatam Yogi, right? So you are completely satisfied, right? So there is nothing but Sarvatra Samabuddhi, right? Samadukka Sukha Kshami. Same thing, Santushta Satatam Yogi. We can, all these things are related. Similarly, Yatatma Dridanis, Yatatma, just look at only Yatatma. Yatatma means control over the mind. That is nothing but Nirmamo Nirahankaraha. That is the same thing as the Sanniyam Yendriya Gramam. Drida Nishchayaha is about knowledge, right? Steadfast conviction. So, Drida Nishchaya, what conviction about what? That the entire universe of living beings is not different from me. So, Sarvabhuta Hite Rataha, right? Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma, right? So they are, that is basically Jnana Yoga. So that way we can interpret this as Karma Yoga, this as Dhyana Yoga, and this as Jnana Yoga, right? You can see that all those three are covered in this. And Maya Arpita Mano Buddhi, this is, you can say, Bhakti Yoga, right? So that way in one shloka you have again all the four yogas. Here again we saw in one shloka again all the four yogas are there. Samadukka Sukha Kshami is Karma Yoga, Nirmamo Nirahankara is Dhyana Yoga, Adveshta Sarvabhutanam is Jnana Yoga, right? So basically, like, this is how the entire Gita is structured, right? Now, every shloka almost will have all these three covered. Many shlokas will have all these three ideas covered. These are the three core ideas. Moment you have understood these three core ideas, right, thoroughly, then you can find them everywhere. You can easily say, okay, Santushta Satatam Yogi. Okay. So this is the benefit. This is what is the result of Karma Yoga, right? That you will be like ever satisfied. Yatatma, control of the mind, right? And Drida Nishchayaha, right? Clarity. So that is Jnana Yoga. So, and like this, it will be there. But then if you say like, no, I want to look at it at a more broader level, then you can say, okay, this whole thing can become Karma Yoga and this whole thing can become Dhyana Yoga. So it all depends on like how you want to cover. So classification, don't worry too much about it. Understand the core idea that, okay, these are the three core ideas in Gita. Yajna, Dana, Tapas. So even in that way, right, Yajna, Dana, Tapas also can be mapped onto these, right? See, this is Dana. Adveshta Sarvabhutanam is about Dana. Nirmamo Nirahankaraha, that is Tapas. And Samadukka Sukha Kshami, that is Yajna, right? So basically, like, Yajna, Dana, Tapas benefits also will be covered. So this is the three core principles of the Gita, which will run in parallel throughout. Okay, right from every concept, every shloka you take, you will be able to, if you dissect it, you should be able to easily interpret it in the lines of these three ideas. Okay, but then like we can use it, like we'll say, if you say, okay, we want to interpret this one purely, use this as a guideline purely for Dhyana Yoga, then you can also do it that way also, right? So that way, the each shloka will have multiple levels of meanings, interpretations, but the core idea will not change, right? So as long as the way you look at it is in line with the core ideas, which is basically these three: Karma Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and Jnana Yoga, right? Then you are free to map it in different ways, and different commentators in different contexts will map it to different things. Okay, so there is no right or wrong about it, right? Different ways of interpretations are there, and as long as it is in line with the core concept, like, you are free to interpret in within that boundary. You're free to interpret whatever way you want. Okay, so this is, the entire Gita is like a hologram, right? Like, the entire Gita has a message where you say, okay, you have the first 6 chapters, middle 6 chapters, last 6 chapters, right? It is called Shatkam. Pratama Shatkam, Madhyama Shatkam, then Charama Shatkam, right? The first Shatka is about Karma Yoga. Second Shatka, second 6 chapters is about Dhyana Yoga. Third 6 chapters is about Jnana Yoga. That is one way of the most broad way of classifying. Then if you go into each of those, you will find all the three yogas mentioned in all the three parts. And then if you go to even chapter by chapter, every chapter will cover all the three parts. Okay. And even if you go even dive deeper, every small section of every chapter will cover all the three parts. Still go dive deeper, almost every shloka also will cover all the three parts. So that is how the Gita is kind of a holographic structure, right? So you just understand the core concepts, then you will be able to crack open and interpret every shloka in that, having that template in mind, right? So the template you need to understand very clearly, right? Karma yoga, dhyana yoga, and jnana yoga, right? And yajna, dana, tapas, like these triads, right? This kind of triads you should, if once you understand these triads, then rest of it becomes very, very easy to understand. Clear? Okay. So now going back, right? So we'll look at, like, we'll build up some theory. We'll understand what is Dhyana Yoga, and then we will come back here. Okay. So let us see what are the purposes of Dhyana Yoga. Meditation. What is the use of meditation? What is the purpose of meditation? What are the benefits of meditation? Right? According to Gita. Right? We will restrict ourselves to Gita only. So according to Gita, what are the purposes of meditation, right? So first, before that, we need to define what is meditation. Now meditation is continuous flow of related thoughts as a pure mental activity, right? Continuous flow of related thoughts as a pure mental activity. Let us try to understand this, right? Now, so this rules out a lot of things. Like, it's a very, very wide and broad definition. So meditation is you cannot restrict it to only saying just observe your thoughts. That is only meditation. Or empty your mind. That is only meditation. You cannot say that, right? Even when the thoughts are flowing, right? And even if the thoughts are about something, right? Not mere, and even if you are voluntarily regulating the thoughts, that is also meditation. So meditation is a very, very broad term, right? There are so many kinds of meditation, right? Relaxation meditation, expansion meditation, value meditation, right? Then Atma Vichara, so many different concentration meditation. There are so many different types of meditation. Now, what is common to all the various kinds of meditation, right? What is common to all the types of meditation is this continuous flow of related thoughts as a pure mental activity. Okay. So, suppose if you are chanting a mantra, fine, right? Repeatedly chanting a mantra. So, it is a continuous flow, yes. It is a related thought, yes, right? You are restricting it to the mantra. Now, if even your tongue moves or your lips move, then it is not meditation, because meditation has to be a purely mental activity. Okay, no use of the physical body at all. That is one of the basic criteria for meditation, right? The If you are moving your tongue, if you are moving your lips, then that becomes chanting, right? Chanting, you use your vocal cords. You can chant loudly or you can chant silently, right? Now that is chanting. Now, when you don't involve any movement, any physical movement, then it becomes meditation, right? It should be a purely mental activity. Now, it can be mantra japa, right? Or you can even say, okay, you close your eyes and you sit and say, I'm going to meditate on Ramayana. So mentally you start. There was a king, Dasharatha. Dasharatha ruled over Ayodhya. Dasharatha had three queens, Kaushalya, Kaikeyi, Sumitra. He did not have a son, so he wanted to do yajna. So then he called, Rishi Shringa, and then he did a yajna. From the yajna, payasam came. He gave it to his queens. They ate the payasam. Then he had four children: Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrugna. So you just keep thinking about the Ramayana story from beginning, right? The full sequence till Rama Patabhisheka. Now that is a meditation. It is a continuous flow, right? It's a related thoughts, right? Thoughts are all only related to Ramayana, and it's a pure mental activity. So this is called Leela Dhyana, right? Thinking about the Leela of the Lord. You can think about Prahalada Charitra, you can think about Ambarisha Charitra, you can think about Gajendra Moksha, right? You can think about any story, right? And if you restrict your thoughts only to that, then it is called meditation, right? Sajatiya pratyaya pravaha. That is a definition for meditation. Sajatiya means related, right? Related thoughts. Pratyaya means like it's a flow of thoughts. Sorry, it is a thoughts, and pravaha is flow, right? So it is a continuous flow of related thoughts, right, as a pure mental activity. And your mind will, as in the process of your meditation, your mind will get distracted. You bring it back, right? So again, according to Patanjali, meditation itself, you have three levels of meditation, right? You have pratyahara, dharana, then dhyana, then samadhi, right? Like, so you have four. Like, if you include samadhi also, then it is four, right? So pratyahara is you withdraw the senses, right? Pratyahara. Then dharana, you fix your mind on whatever you want to meditate upon. That is dharana. Then dhyana is when the mind has actually settled down without any effort. That is dhyana. Then samadhi is where you completely forget even that you are meditating. You are so engrossed in your meditation that you completely forget even the fact that you are meditating. Then it is become samadhi. So these are the four stages of meditation according to Patanjali. So all, and a broad definition of meditation includes all the four. So we don't need to restrict only to either of these four. So the word meditation, and even here when we say Dhyana Yoga, it covers all the four, right? All the four stages of meditation according to Patanjali, we can cover it as a part of the Dhyana Yoga itself. So we use the word meditation in a more broader sense. Okay. Now, what is the purpose of meditation? We will look at multiple purposes. So behavior is driven by subconscious mind. So subconscious mind, we saw it is called Karana Sharira or Anandamaya Kosha, right? So that is where decisions are made, right? We saw, right? Where we have the samskara, jnana, right? So that is where the decisions are made. But so the subconscious mind can be reprogrammed by tuning the value system by retrospection and introspection using the intellect by the process of meditation. Okay. So what does it mean? So we cannot, our decisions are made in the subconscious mind. So we don't have a direct control over how we behave, right? The second chapter, Krishna says, Nigraha kim karishyati. What will with restriction do? Like, we cannot nigraha kim karishyati. Even the wisest people, even the brilliant people, right? They are also with distracted, and they also make mistakes. They also do like stupid things. Like, so who is the one who decides? How is the decisions made? How does the mind make decisions? Right? Like, that's a very, very deep discussion happens in the second chapter, right? So basically, the idea is that the subconscious mind is the one which makes decisions. So we are not in full control over the decisions that we make. We say there is free will, but we have the free will not to make a decision, but to reprogram our subconscious mind. Okay. We have the free will to how to reprogram our subconscious mind. And at the nick of the moment when actual decisions are made, at that time, it is the subconscious mind which makes the decisions. And this is fully in line with modern psychology. Okay. So by retrospection, by introspection, we can reprogram our subconscious mind, right? We can strengthen our convictions, we can tune our value systems, we can change our value systems, we can change our belief systems. We can do all that, right? By meditation, right? So meditation is a technique by which we reprogram our subconscious mind using our conscious mind. So meditation is a link between the conscious and subconscious mind. So to put it in a neuroscience way, like the this link happens in a state called alpha state, right? When the brain has alpha waves predominantly. So that is when the conscious and subconscious minds, like, they actually get fully connected. So meditation puts the mind in a state called alpha state, and in that alpha state, this reprogramming of the subconscious mind becomes very, very easy. That is why, like, when you are in meditation, if you get some bad thoughts, or if you get some, negative thoughts, immediately stop your meditation and get up. Like, because if you have negative thoughts during meditation, that thoughts will get etched in the subconscious mind very deeply, and you will have to spend a lot of energy later to fix it. Because ultimately, you have to fix your mind, you have to fix your subconscious mind. So never allow any negative thoughts to get into your subconscious mind. So during meditation, if your mind is, getting into some negative thoughts, immediately stop your meditation and read something, or chant something, or sing something, do something else, right? So this is so one of the basic purposes of meditation is to reprogram your subconscious mind. Basically, like, whatever is your intellectual conviction, you push that intellectual conviction into your subconscious mind so that it becomes a behavioral change, right? This is called nididhyasana. That's a technical term used for this. So Swami Paramarthananji defines it as converting intellectual conviction into emotional strength. That is a definition for nididhyasana. Converting intellectual conviction into emotional strength. So that is exactly what is called as reprogramming the subconscious mind, right? So that is one of the purposes of meditation. Now, another purpose of meditation is meditation gives inner joy by temporarily delinking from the sense objects, just like in deep sleep, right? Now, we all go to sleep. We go to deep sleep. And when we wake up from deep sleep, we say, I had a very nice sleep. Like, I slept like a log, right? That's what people say. Now, when we sleep, like, full deep sleep, not even knowing about, completely, like, not knowing even about our own existence, when we come out of such a deep sleep, we always say, I enjoyed a deep sleep. No one says, oh, I slept very well, I suffered. Nightmares, we might suffer, right? Dreams, bad dreams, we might suffer. But deep sleep is always a pleasure. It's always a source of pleasure. And in deep sleep, there is absolutely no mental transactions, and absolutely surely there is no sensory transactions. We are completely detached from the sense objects. And this is a very good proof that pleasure does not come from sense objects, pleasure comes from within. Because that is why when we completely cut off from the sense objects in deep sleep, we actually enjoy real pleasure, right? So meditation gives inner joy by temporarily delinking from the sense objects. And meditation is basically just like going into deep sleep, but consciously, right? So this will give a first-hand experience that we don't depend upon people, objects, and situations outside for happiness, right? So in sixth chapter, Krishna says, Buddhi grahyam atindriyam, right? There is a sukham, right? Ati sukham. There's a great sukha, and that sukha is buddhi grahyam. Like, it is a very tangible pleasure which can be experienced tangibly by the mind, right? And but it is atindriyam. It is independent of the sense objects. So now this buddhi grahyam atindriya sukham, we can have a first-hand experience by meditation, right? So by meditation gives a positive experience of joy. To put it in neuroscience way, like you can generate your own dopamine in your brain at will by meditation, right? By meditation, you can generate dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin in your brain at will, right? So you can do this, right? And because of this, you say, I am independent of, I don't depend upon these people, objects, and situations for my happiness. And that will give you a more balanced mind. No one can emotionally, no one can do any emotional blackmail on you, right? Suppose, let us say, like, you are going out with your friends, and your friends ask you, like, take just one peg, no, like just one peg. You say, like, no, 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 I'm not a drinker. I don't drink alcohol. I'm not going to take it. Then they say, like, no, 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 take. You say no. Then they'll say, see, if you are my friend, you take it. Now, this is an emotional blackmail, right? If you don't take it, I will not talk to you. If you are my friend, you take it. You are my friend, no, take it. Now, these are all emotional blackmail. Now, meditation will give you this independence that you don't depend upon people, objects, and situations for your happiness. So, you will not fall for this kind of emotional blackmail. It gives you an independence from people that even if someone says, if you don't do this, I'm not your friend, you will say, it's okay, I'm not your friend, no problem. You will have this emotional independence by meditation, because meditation will give you the first hand experience that joy comes from within, not from outside. And also that wrong notion that these senses are the source of great pleasure, it will cut off, right? The greatest pleasure, right, will come from meditation, right? Meditation will expose you, or will give you the experience of such a high quality and quantity of pleasure that you will completely, you will not, you will find that the pull of the sense organs, the pull of the sense objects, right, the other people and other things in this world are nothing compared to the pleasure that you get from meditation. The quality and quantity of pleasure which you get out of meditation will be far, far higher than anything that this world can offer you. Now that, right, you will, once you have that, then, like, you become really independent. This is what meditation gives. Now, of course, there is another problem in this. Because meditation gives this pleasure, it is addictive also, right? That itself becomes a distraction. You have to get over it eventually. Like in the Mandukya Karika, right, when Gaudapadacharya talks about meditation, he gives what are the obstacles to meditation, right? 4 obstacles to meditation he gives. One is the mind can become tamasic. So when you are sitting for meditation, you might fall asleep, right? Second is the mind can become rajasic. You sit for meditation and your mind jumps around thinking about various things like a monkey. That is a rajasic. The third one is kashaya. Like your mind can get into negative things. Like, so all your bad negative memories, which are deep seated, will get uh, will be pulled out by meditation. You have to solve them, right? So basically, like, your mind can get into a negative mode. So that is called kashaya, right? So you have to deal with it very carefully, right? And you have to solve the problem, but in a more, under the guidance of a teacher, it will be much easier, right? So it needs a lot of maturity of meditation to be able to pull out all your, negative memories and resolve them, so that you clear them off before you can actually get into deep meditation. That is called kashaya. The fourth obstacle to meditation is rasaswada, which is like you can get addicted to the pleasure aspect of meditation, and that itself will stop you from going further, because ultimately the purpose of meditation is not pleasure. This is only like one of the side byproducts is that because of this pleasure, it will give you detachment from the world. Now that is more important, right? Gaining vairagya is important, and you develop vairagya because using this pleasure which you get out of meditation. But then if you get addicted to this pleasure which comes out of meditation itself, that itself becomes a roadblock. That is called rasaswada. So that is one of the what do you call, pitfalls in meditation, which you have to go across. You have to cross it, right? You have to cross it, because the only way by which you can develop vairagya is by holding on to the pleasure which you get out of meditation. That is the most effective way to develop vairagya, right? So but then you have to get over this pleasure seeking also, right? Pleasure seeking out of meditation also has to be overcome, right? To go further. Anyway, and meditation upon God helps to develop a personal relationship with God, right? So many of the meditations, like we saw the Leela Dhyana, where you can think of Ramayana, you can think about the various stories of the devotees of God, right? And you can think about the form of the Lord. You can do Manasa Puja, mental puja of the Lord. So all these things help you to develop a personal relationship with God, right? And that is very, very important, right? God becomes a very tangible entity. You are able to experience God in a tangible way through meditation. So meditation is a very important aspect of Bhakti Yoga, where it helps you to develop this personal relationship. And meditation quietens the mind to that extent. When we look within with such a mind, we can gain the knowledge of the real nature of ourselves, right? This is what Patanjali calls as Chitta Vritti Nirodha, right? Yoga, one of the definition for yoga given by Patanjali is Chitta Vritti Nirodha, right? Complete cessation of all thoughts, right? Why? Because by that, when the thoughts are like stilled, then the individual, the pure nature of ourselves as pure consciousness will automatically shine forth. We'll be able to see clearly that our individual identity is false, and the knowledge will shine forth. That is, to use the words of the 10th chapter of the Gita, the knowledge will shine forth from within, he says, right? And that basically, like, once you have the knowledge, that is moksha, right? So that way, meditation becomes an important sadhana on the way to moksha, for moksha, right? So we saw several examples, right? We saw the example of a lake, right? Through karma, suppose if there is a lake, and there is water, and the turbulent, there is a lot of dirt in the water, by because of which you cannot see through the water. So now you remove the dirt by karma yoga, and the water is turbulent. It keeps violently shaking. Because of that, you are not able to see through the water. So now through meditation you still the water. So once the water is clear, made clear and transparent through karma yoga, and it is made still through dhyana yoga, now you can see through it, and you can see the bottom of the lake where the treasure lies. You can see the golden chest, the gold coin which is lying at the bottom of the lake. You can see, and that knowledge about my true nature you can get. And dhyana yoga is another very, very important discipline towards moksha, right? So these are the various purposes of dhyana yoga, right? And different verses in the Gita, different places, various points of these are touched upon, right? Now these are all based on the Gita only, right? So with this purposes of dhyana yoga, now we'll go to what is the practice of dhyana yoga, right? What do you mean by dhyana yoga? How is it practiced? So the first thing which we need to understand is that we need to pick up one spiritual practice for dhyana yoga, and it stick to it for a few years. For any spiritual practice, any procedure that we pick up for following, it will take at least 2 to 5 years minimum for it to actually give its benefit. So within, if you keep changing things in a matter of weeks or days, then we don't even give the time for that spiritual practice to settle down. So we will not be able to reap the full benefit of it. So choose a spiritual practice and stick to it at least for a few years. Right? Now, what do you mean by choose a spiritual practice? First is choose a Ishtadevata. Right? Now, if you have a guru, then the guru would have given you an Ishtadevata. It becomes easy. If you don't yet have a guru, then you can choose any devata whom is of your liking. If you like Rama, choose Rama. If you like Krishna, choose Krishna. If you like Shiva, Hanumanji, Ganesha, whichever, right? Lakshmi, Saraswati, whichever Ishtadevata you like, you can choose your Ishtadevata, whichever is you have a natural inclination towards. Okay. If you say like, no, I'm confused, I'm not able to settle on one, then you go for whichever is your family devata, right? Your family deity might be there. You can choose your family deity, right? Whoever is being worshipped by your father, grandfather, great grandfather, you have your kula devata, right? Whoever, like, you can choose the ishta devata based on your family tradition. Okay. So, but you have to choose one ishta devata, and moment you're fixed one ishta devata, don't change it for a few years. Okay. Then when you have chosen your ishta devata, then you choose a mantra. Again, if you have a guru, the guru would have given you a mantra, so use that mantra. If you don't yet have a guru, choose any mantra related to the ishta devata you have chosen. Okay. So if you have chosen Vishnu, there are standard mantras. You have the Ashtakshari, Om Namo Narayanaya. You have the Dwadashocha Akshari, the 12 syllabled one, which is the Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Right? Now, these are all standard mantras which have been used in the Puranas. Like Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya was the one which was given by Narada to Dhruva. Right? And even if you go to Badrinath, everywhere on the wall it will be written Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So that's a very, very popular, powerful mantra for Vishnu. Right? Or Om Namo Narayanaya, right? Or the you have the Maha Mantra, right? Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, right? Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Like this, you can keep on chanting, right? Now, this is called Maha Mantra. This was a mantra which was popularized by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and so many other people, even before him also and after him also. So, like this, or you have Om Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, right? That's another very popular mantra. So, like this, there are a lot of popular mantras, Om Namah Shivaya, right? Or Mrityunjaya mantra. So, there are so many mantras which are popular mantras. You can pick up any one mantra. And again, when you pick up one, stick to it for a few years, right? Don't change. Now, once you have chosen a mantra, then you have a procedure for daily puja, chanting, and meditation. Okay. So in the 12th chapter, Krishna says that this 3 steps, right? Puja, chanting, meditation, right? So the mind uh, will not, it's difficult for the mind to settle down directly for meditation. So you have one procedure for daily puja, right? Now, again, if your guru has given you a procedure for puja, you follow that. Or if you have a traditional Sandhya Vandana, you can use that. Or you can, any simple thing, right? Like you can clean the altar, right? Then light a lamp, put some flowers. Now that is your puja, right? Or you can even do Kunkuma Archana, right? Or Archana with Pushpa. So like this, basically a physical procedure for puja you have. Okay. Minimum is lighting the lamp, right? That is the minimum puja, and putting some flowers, right? And you can have an elaborate puja also, right? So you have the procedures in the scriptures, right, in the tradition for this thing, puja with 5 items, right? Gandham, Pushpam, Dhupam, Deepam, Naivedyam. So this is called Pancha puja with 5 items, right? So basically, like, you give offer gandha, like you put the thing, clean the picture of the Lord, and you put chandana or something, then gandham, then pushpam, put some flowers, then dhupam, light an agarbatti and wave it around the Lord, dhupam, then deepam, you offer light to the Lord, light a lamp and offer to the Lord, then naivedyam, right? You offer some edible thing, right? It can be as simple as some this thing, sugar crystals, or it can be some payasam, or it can be some fruits, anything, right? So naivedyam. So this we call the Panchopachara Puja, right? Gandham, Pushpam, Dhupam, Deepam, Naivedyam. Now this is a simple puja. Now, if you want to do still more complicated, there is Dashopachara Puja, then Shodashopachara Puja with 10 items, 16 items. There are so many different elaborate puja things are there. But you don't need to worry too much, right? Whatever you are comfortable with, whatever satisfies you, you can do that. Simplest puja is just light a lamp and put some flowers, right? Even that much, at least minimum, you can do. Then chanting. So once when you do the puja, physical puja, your mind will settle down at least within the puja room, right? Instead of running all around the place, because you would have done so many, you would have been busy with so many activities. So by doing the puja, right, your mind will settle down. Then you do chanting. You have some chanting routine you have, right? You fix something for chanting, and and this you can keep changing it over a period of weeks, right? So that it is not very monotonous, right? So you have some chanting routine, right? And there are so many shlokas, ashtotras, right? And sahasranama, so many things are available for chanting, right? So pick up something, or you can even pick up some Gita, 12th chapter, 15th chapter is used for chanting generally, right? So you can use 12th chapter, 16th chapter for chanting, or you can even use this selection of 12 shlokas which we have selected here, one Dhyana shloka and 11 shlokas from the Gita. You can use this for chanting. So pick up something for chanting, and at least for 5-10 minutes, right? You chant. This will loud chanting, right? Loud chanting. Now this will settle your mind still further. After that, you close your eyes and go for meditation, right? Which is, as I told you, meditation is a purely mental activity. So the puja is a physical activity, chanting is a verbal activity, and meditation is a mental activity. That is the three procedures. So you start with the physical activity, then go to a verbal activity, then you go to a mental activity. That way your meditation, gradually you are settling your mind, and your meditation will become easy and deep. If you directly sit for meditation, it will not be easy. So you follow this puja, chanting, meditation, like three-step approach. You will be able to meditate very easily. And you have a procedure, and even for meditation also you have a procedure for meditation. If your guru would have given you, right? If you have taken initiation from a guru. Otherwise, like, you can do manasa puja, right? You can do different kinds of meditation are there. So one good book on meditation which I can recommend to you is a book by Swami Tadatmananda, right? Swami Tadatmananda has written a book on meditation. It's available on Amazon. And also he has given a series of talks on that also. It's Arshabodha Center of California in Berkeley. That's where he is from. And his book on meditation is very good, right? Swami Tadatmananda. Okay, fine. So meditation. So there are so many procedures. So you can, if you have a, you can learn from someone, or you can pick up from a book. And then there are so many also guided meditation available on YouTube also. Pick one procedure and learn it and follow it for a few years for it to get give benefit. Okay. Then now this is the spiritual practice. Okay. Now this spiritual practice you do twice a day, right? Now, the remembrance of the Lord has to be linked to everyday activities. The word which I told you, Mayi Aveshita Chetasam, right? Complete, just like how a Rasagulla is fully soaked in the syrup of the juice, like that your mind should be completely soaked in God. That is the objective, right? That is the objective of Dhyana Yoga. So now your entire everyday activities should be linked to the remembrance of the Lord. Now, when you wake up, start chanting your mantra even before opening your eyes. Okay. The moment you know you are awake, start chanting. Start chanting. Then you out of bed, right? You know you awake. Okay. Then before breakfast, do your daily puja, chanting, meditation, and only then you have breakfast. So the best way to not skip your puja and meditation is to link it to your dinner. Okay. You say, I will take breakfast only after my meditation session in the morning. I will take dinner only after my meditation session in the evening. So moment you, this is called stacking. If you read Atomic Habits, there's a beautiful book called Atomic Habits. So basically it talks about how to break and create habits, right? So one of the techniques called stacking. Now, this is exactly what is called stacking. So what you do, you link the habit that you want to develop, you link it to another existing daily activity, then you will never miss that habit. So the way not to miss meditation is to say, I will, before breakfast, I will do meditation. Okay. So that way, you will never miss it. Okay. And also, even during the day, anytime before anything enters your mouth, offer it to the Lord and eat it only as prasada. Anything, even if you're drinking a glass of water, anything that you eat only as prasada. Offer it to the Lord, then only you eat it. Okay. So that way, anytime you are going to put anything into your mouth, you will remember the Lord. Right? Then chant the name or mantra when doing any work that does not need your full attention. Many of the activities in our life don't need full attention. Right? Some things need full attention. Like if you are reading a book, or if you are doing some coding, or if you are reading a document, or so those kind of things need your full attention, right? Any mental activity will need your full attention. Now there are so many other activities which we do every day which don't need our full attention. Brushing the teeth, right? Bathing, cooking, walking, right? So many things are there which don't need our full attention, and all those times keep chanting the mantra within mentally. So basically, the idea is never leave the mind idle. I told you, right? Like, so the elephant, like when they want to take the elephant across the bazaar street, they will give one stick or a chain to its trunk. It will keep on playing with that as it walks through the bazaar. Now, if you don't give that chain or a stick to the trunk of the elephant, it will grab things, it will extend the trunk and it will start grabbing things from the shops on both the sides of the bazaar, which will create havoc, obviously. So same thing with the mind, right? If you don't, the mind cannot be idle. Okay. So the mind will constantly be thinking about something. That is the nature of the mind. So if you don't give the mind something to think about, then the mind will think about all kinds of rubbish. So always engage the mind. So you fill all the idle cycles of your mind with the mantra. Okay. And as I told you, before dinner, do your puja chanting meditation. So for this puja chanting meditation is what? First, that the first bullet point where we say, okay, fix a spiritual practice. So that spiritual practice which you have fixed, you do before breakfast and before dinner, right? Minimum twice a day. Rest of the time, you keep chanting your mantra mentally and chant before going to sleep, right? So the moment you have decided to sleep, close your eyes, keep chanting, keep chanting, keep chanting, and slip into sleep while chanting. Okay. So this way, if you link all your everyday activities with the remembrance of the God, of the Lord, then this is what will lead to Mayi Aveshita Chetasam, right? And to strengthen this, you also take off for a spiritual retreat. Okay. Sri Ramakrishna puts in a very nice way. He says, Vane, Kone, Mane. Vane means in the forest. Kone means in the corner. Mane means in the mind. Okay. So constantly you need to remember the Lord, the mind, Mane. Now to do that, at least twice a day, you need to sit in a corner in your puja room, Kone, and you need to do the spiritual practice. That's what I told you before breakfast, before dinner. So that is Kone, right? Now to do that with full vigor, Vane. Vane means leave the house, go to a secluded place, and spend some time in spiritual sadhana. Okay. So every 2 or 3 months, take one weekend, right? 2 days off for a full-time spiritual sadhana. Now, there are a lot of ashrams and lot of Ramakrishna mission centers for this purpose, because this is a practice which has been recommended by Sri Ramakrishna, that every spiritual sadhaka, every 2 3 months, should take 2 days off for full-time spiritual sadhana. And all almost all Ramakrishna mission centers will entertain you. They will allow you to stay there for 2 days for full-time spiritual sadhana if you want to stay, if you want to do this, right? So the Ramakrishna mission centers have provide this facility, right? They have this infrastructure for spiritual sadhakas to go to any Ramakrishna mission center, and you can spend 2 days for sadhana, exclusive sadhana, right? They will feed you 3 times a day, 4 times a day, if you want to sit and do sadhana. Now, of course, you have to approach through your local center. So you have to be already regularly attending your local center at least once a week, and be familiar with the monks in the local center. Then they can recommend you to any center where you can go and stay for 2 days for exclusive spiritual sadhana. And you can stay in other ashrams also, like Rishikesh, Haridwar, Vrindavan. They're all full of ashrams for this purpose. Okay. So if you say you are a spiritual sadhaka, you are follower of this procedure, and you want to stay for 2 days for sadhana, they will welcome you with open hands, right? Whether it's Divine Life Society, Chinmaya Mission, Arshavidya centers, innumerable ashrams are there where you can go alone and stay for 2 days and spend your entire 2 days for sadhana. And they will take care of your stay, they will take care of your food arrangements, and you can do this. And India is designed for this, right? India is designed for spiritual sadhana. There are so many places where you can stay. And also every year, also you see if you can take 1 or 2 weeks off for full-time spiritual sadhana. And for this also, there are a lot of ashrams which conduct spiritual retreats, residential spiritual retreats, where you can go and attend a full-time spiritual retreat, right? For example, like Mayavati Ashram has spiritual retreat every year, right? 1 week spiritual retreat. So like this, there are a lot of ashrams conduct spiritual retreats, 1 week retreat, 2 week retreat. So you can go and spend full time in spiritual sadhana for this. So this way, right? Mane is in the mind 24/7. To strengthen that, Kone, twice a day, right? Full do spiritual sadhana, sitting in a place, right? And to strengthen that, Vane, go for a spiritual retreat, right? So by this, you will be able to have a very, very strong, healthy Dhyana yoga, right? Healthy sadhana through Dhyana yoga. And this will, if you follow this, you will have very good progress in spiritual life. And this is important, and this is a mandatory procedure for following spiritual life. Karma yoga alone is not enough. Just listening to lectures alone is not enough. You have to put religion into practice. Spiritual sadhana is all about practice. Swami Vivekananda says practice, practice, practice. Right? 1 ounce of practice is better than tons of theory. What do you mean by practice? This is what is practice. Right? So this is what is called as Dhyana yoga. Right? So before we go to the meditation process, any questions here? Let us stop for a Q&A. Yeah, whoever wants.
Yeah, Gokul Sridhar
Can
here.
ask. Yes, Sridhar.
Yeah. So, typically, we have 1 hour in the mornings before we go for work or so. So one is, this. So, I'm referring to the conflict. So Dhyana yoga, say 1 hour. Then how about exercise and the physical aspect of it? What do you recommend? What do you practice? Gokul? Like walking is recommended, exercise, and then Dhyana yoga and thing. How do we find the time?
See, Dhyana, see when you sit for the spiritual practice, it need not be 1 hour. 1 hour is a long time. 1 hour is kind of ideal. Okay. So your puja, chanting, meditation, all the three put together, if you spend half an hour morning, half an hour evening, that itself is a good start. Okay.
Okay. So basically, you're saying work around the time that we have. Make the best use of it.
Fix it. Like fix half. And then it is, see, one hour out of 24 hours. So you have rest of the 23 hours for other things, right? For you to do exercise, walking, whatever you want to do, right?
Right. So typically, when share the initiation that we get in the ashram, at least for me, it takes around 45 minutes to 1 hour to do that. If I have to follow the whole of this.
Then spend 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Thank you.
Namaste, sir.
Yes.
In our daily life or in our worldly life, we have lot of sorrows we are having. Actually, when we sit in meditation, those frustrations and sorrow are coming again and again, rather than the good thoughts or godly thoughts. Instead of that, as you told, the negative thoughts are usually coming into our mind, and it is not allowing us to think about God. It is actually dominating, and what we can do for that, sir?
So, see, you need to resolve it. Okay. Without resolving this, this is what is called as kashaya. So without resolving it, you cannot meditate. How do you resolve it? So if you look at what thoughts you will have, okay. Now,
okay, sir.
I'll see, these are all standard categories which our great acharyas, our great teachers have already worked it out. Right? We just have to understand it and follow it. I'll tell you. So one is you will have regrets about what you have done in the past. You will say, oh, I should not have done that. I should not have done that. Number one. Second thing is you will have grudges. Right? Grudges is, oh, that person did this. Oh, this person did this. Right? You will have grudges. Then you will have, regrets. In the sense like, oh, this should not have happened, oh, that should not have happened, I'm a very unlucky person, this happened, that happened, right? About situations, right? Then you will have anxiety over the future. So these are all about the past. Then you will have anxiety over the future. You will say, oh, what if this happened? Oh, what if that happens? So you will have, these are the various kinds of uh, distractions of kashaya you will have. Okay. Now, the prime, like the biggest, the most powerful tool against all these things is faith in God. Now, if you have faith in God, everything happened, and will happen by the will of the Lord. And the Lord we saw, right? Bhoktaram Yagnitapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutana. That one shloka, if you understand clearly, all these problems will get solved. Okay? He is omniscient. He knows everything that has happened. He knows everything that is going to happen. He is omniscient. Omnipotent. He is the entire world. He is running the world. Right? Everything in this universe happens by his sweet will. It is by his will that everything happens in this world, right? Nothing happens against his will. And then Suhridam Sarvabhutana, and he is my real well-wisher. So which means whatever has happened for my well-being. I'm not able to understand, I'm not able to link how this is for my well-being. Why did the Lord let this happen to me? Why did the Lord, let this happen? Why did this happen? I'm not able to understand. So it is not between you and some person in this world. No, it is not between you and anyone in this world. It is between you and God. There are only two entities in this universe, you and God. There is no third entity. Okay? There are no people. There is no husband, there is no wife, there is no mother-in-law, there is no father-in-law, there is no son, there is no daughter, there is no father, there is no mother, there is no employer, employee, no one is there. There is only you and God. Okay? There is no third entity. So every transaction in your life is between you and God. So you have, the Lord is presenting to you this whole game, right? It's a kind of a game, right? And it's like a video game. This whole life is like a video game. And the Lord is the operator of the video game. He gives you the interface. And in the video game, there are so many characters, so many roles. You have to go and fight this character. You have to take help from that character. Like this whole life is like a video game. And the Lord is the one who is running the game for you, so that you develop your skill, so that you develop a good character, so that you develop punya, so that you progress in spiritual life. The goal is spiritual progress, and this whole life is like a video game which has been run by the Lord for you. It's tailor-made for you. Your life is a video game tailor-made for you. Everything that happens in your life has been by the will of the Lord for your spiritual progress. Now, if you have this faith, strong, unshakable faith in the Lord, now this is the best tool available. Okay? Develop faith in the Lord, right? And do everything for Him and accept everything in life as His will. Okay? This is the first thing. Now, if you are not able to do this, if your faith in God is not that strong, right, that you are not able to do this, then the second thing what you can do is forgiveness, right? See, everyone does things in this world because they think that is the best thing to do. Like, even first thing, let us say your own action in the past. All of us have made mistakes in the past. Now, if you take one mistake which you have done in the past, if you look at it, you would have seen that when you made that mistake, you actually thought that was the best thing to do. And often, like, we think we are very smart and we are doing a very brilliant thing, and we do that, and later we know that what a stupid thing we did, right? So while doing an action, We think that is the best thing to do, and we go ahead and do it. That is why we do it. And later we understand that, oh, that was not a right thing. That was a very wrong thing to do. What a stupid thing and what a bad thing I did. We understand that later. Now, this logic applies to others also. Everyone does things because they think that is the right thing to do, or at least they think it is okay to do it. Otherwise, they will not do it. So people do things because they think that is the right thing to do. So if you find someone doing something wrong, you try to understand what makes them think that this is the right thing to do, or what makes them think that it is okay to do. You try to understand where they are coming from. What is the thought process based on which they think that this is okay to do this? Right? Try to understand. Then you will find where the problem is, and you'll be able to talk to them, and you'll be able to solve the problem very easily. Okay? This is called Hanlon's razor. Right? There is a concept called Hanlon's razor, which says, don't attribute to malice what can be attributed to stupidity. Right? Don't attribute to an intentional mistake what can be attributed to an misunderstanding or oversight or miscommunication. Right? So most of the things which we think someone did something wrong, someone did something very cruel to us, someone intentionally hurt us, intentionally they did something, like actually if you just dig deeper, it will be either a misunderstanding, or they think their intentions were right, but then their understanding was wrong, so they did something stupid, or it is a miscommunication. So most of the things in life are just miscommunications, misunderstandings, and misjudgment of the situation, both by us and also by others. Like very, very, very rarely there will be real bad intention. It is not there. At almost like 99% of the time, people don't have bad intentions. It's basically because of good intention, but then bad understanding. They have a bad, like even like, parents do something to us thinking they are doing the right thing, but then like later we might know, no, they're like, what a bad thing like happened, like then, but actually the intention was good, but then they did not have the right knowledge, because of which with good intention they did something which was very bad. Right? So if you understand, so basically like you start with the premise that people are good, people have good intentions, but then people might not be knowledgeable. Right? People might not have the right knowledge, but the intentions are good. You start with that premise, and then you look at the problem, you will be able to understand things better. And moment you have understood it, then you will find that, like, things are not as complicated as you think they are. Things are pretty simple and straightforward everywhere. Okay? So first is, see if you can develop strong faith in God. That will solve all the problems, because the shloka says, right, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam jnatva shantim richati. If you know this, it will give you shanti. Right? If you understand God correctly, there is no other way other than you having shanti. Right? There is no place for ashanti if you understand and if you have faith in God. All ashanti is because of lack of faith in God only. Okay? But we cannot jump, we cannot suddenly develop such strong faith in God. So we have to start working towards it. So when we assume that there are individuals, there are other people, like when we go to that kind of worldview, then you have to get to the next level where you say, like, intentions are right, but knowledge may not be there. Right? With that you approach the world, you will find that holds good 99% of the time. This is the way to
Okay, sir.
solve
Thank you.
grudges. Okay? So
Okay,
if
sir.
you have
Thank
a
you, sir.
grudge against someone, right? Let's take a concrete example. If you say, oh, that person did such a bad thing to me. So don't do this in meditation. Do this outside meditation. Just sit calmly think, what happened? This is what happened. Okay. Why did this person do this? What would have that person thought, right? While he did this, right? Think positively, right? And analyze it. And you can even talk to others. Like, hey, this person did this to me. Do you are there at that time, no? Do you think why do you think that person did it? And you talk to someone, they will tell, oh, this person, he told me that he did this because of this reason. Then you will understand, oh, is it so? Like, oh, that person really wanted to do something good for me. I thought that person was trying to hurt me. You talk to people who are there in the situation, they will be able to give you a different perspective. And you go and talk to that person directly also, right? If you think someone hurt you, you go and directly ask the person, hey, you did this at that time, like it really hurt me, like why did you do this? That person will give you the exact explanation why the person did it. You will find that that person actually did it with good intention. It is because of wrong knowledge or misunderstanding that things went wrong. You just go and talk to the person, you will be able to sort out most of the issues. And it's simple, practical thing. Okay, we overthink and we complicate things, right? Try it out. And you have to solve this problem before you sit for meditation. Otherwise, you will not be able to sit and meditate. You are perfectly right that without solving all these grudges and regrets and hatred and all these kind of things, you will not be able to sit and meditate. So to have a good meditation, you have to solve all these problems first. There should not be any emotional baggage when you meditate. Clear?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yes, madam.
Yes, Gokulji, I think, thank you for explaining it so well. Sometimes the accepting your own actions of the past, in spite of so much of blessings and got so much, and sometimes you don't even feel you deserve so much goodness around you and you got everything. But the mind might get purified over time, but the actions of the past, even to believe that, like, how could you do this in your life despite all the blessings? Sometimes comes and bothers you and it keeps flashing at you again.
So you have to forgive yourself. Okay. See, that's what the same, whatever I explained to you, right? When you just go back and you think, when you did that stupid thing, what did you think when you did the stupid thing? Go back and try to recollect. You will find that when you did it, you thought you are doing something smart. It is now that you have realized that it was such a stupid thing you did. But when you did it, actually, you thought you are doing something smart. Or in the worst case, you would have thought it is okay to do it. Chalta hai, right? So at that time, your knowledge was less. You had some misunderstandings. You did not know things. So you thought that was the best thing to do and you did it. Okay. And later you understood things better. Later you know things better. And now you are saying, oh, I did such a stupid thing. So which means you have grown. So first thing is you forgive yourself, forgive your past, saying that, yes, because of bad knowledge, I did such a stupid thing. Now that I know things better, I will not repeat it. And now that, so basically the very fact that you are able to tell that I did such a stupid thing means you have grown. It's a sign of development, right? So because you have developed, because you have grown now, that is why you are able to say that I did such a stupid thing. How could I have done such a stupid thing? So be happy that you have developed. Be happy that now you are better off, right? And forgive your past. You have to forgive your younger self, right? Like, take a resolve that you will be careful in future, you will not repeat it in future, and you forgive your stupid younger self and keep moving ahead, right? That's the only way. And pray to the Lord, say that, oh Lord, ensure that I will not do such a thing in future. I will try to take care of myself, like, I will try to do the right thing, but please ensure that you keep my mind and understanding clear, so that I have a clear understanding of what is right, what is wrong, right? Pray to the Lord. Prayer, forgive your past, right? And keep going ahead, right? Be happy that you are better now and keep going ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Uma ma'am.
Yeah, actually, our mental tendencies, right, are in spite of you knowing, okay, it is wrong, the subconscious will make, I mean, you will end up doing something, right? And because you don't have that clear
Yes.
clarity of mind, and it's not pure, right? All of us are, if everybody is in that journey, in spite of you knowing, in spite of that, you do something which you think is
Yes.
wrong, right? And
Yeah.
how do you, I mean, that means karma yoga has to be practiced for
Yes.
a length of time before even you come near dhyana yoga, because otherwise all this will only bring all the thoughts to this, from subconscious to the conscious mind.
Yes.
Because you're not ready.
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah. So that is why I'm saying, like, if there are negative thoughts, don't sit and meditate. Like, stop your meditation and read something or do something. Don't continue meditation if there are negative thoughts. Okay.
But
So
how do you then how do you incrementally at least make improvements, right?
So retrospection, right? So first thing is develop an intellectual conviction, right? Viveka Abhyasa, right? Arjuna asked the same question in the 6th chapter, right? And Krishna's answer is Viveka and Abhyasa. Viveka means what? You do an intellectual analysis of what is the situation, what is to be achieved, what are the options, and what are the pros and cons of the options, and what should I do, right? We call it as grow, right? What is the goal, right? G, what is the reality? R, what are the options? O, and what is the way forward? W, right? You do a grow analysis, right? And about what you want to do, and about the past, whatever has happened, there's a one template called Stark analysis, STARK. What was the situation? What was the target? What was the action done? What was the results got? And what is the knowledge gained? STARK. Right? There are a lot of templates for all this, like to structure your thinking, right? So you do a Stark analysis of what happened in the past, right? So what was the situation, right? And what was the target? What did you want to achieve? And A, what is the action? What did you do? And R, what was the result you got, right? And K is what is the knowledge you gained out of it, right? Did you get the results what you wanted, right? Or did you not get, right? So basically, like, this is called a Stark analysis template. Okay. So basically, you think about what is the right, what is wrong, why is it wrong, what will happen if I do this, what will happen if I don't do this. So now this intellectual analysis is called Viveka. Okay. You do an intellectual analysis and you come to an intellectual conviction first, right? First thing is you have to be intellectually convinced. Second is the Abhyasa, Viveka and Abhyasa. Abhyasa is tuning your behavior and habits, right? So moment you have said, okay, now this is my intellectual conviction. Now again, your behavior will not immediately change, right? So as much as possible, you try to align your behavior to your intellectual conviction, right? You develop habits, develop good habits. Like, and if you read the Atomic Habits book, he gives a lot of techniques how to develop good habits and how to break bad habits. Both are important, right? Like, say for example, like if you have a habit of just spending a lot of time random browsing over Facebook or WhatsApp or social media. Like, first thing is, like, keep the phone away, right? Don't keep the phone near you, right? But to break the habit, first thing is, like, you'll have to detach yourself from the object or the instrument, right? So like that, there are techniques how to break habits. So use all the modern techniques, right? You don't need to always stick only to the scriptures, right? Use all the modern techniques. There are a lot of good knowledge, good things from all over the world, right? That all good things flow to us from all directions. That's what Rigveda says, right? So there are proven standard techniques on how to break habits, how to develop new habits, right? Use all of them and proceed slowly, right? So Viveka. So after Viveka comes Abhyasa.
So that means that unless it becomes my character and then a personality, I cannot move to the, my personality becomes like I am a full karma yogi. Transitioning to, it cannot be done in parallel. It has to have some piece, at least I need to have some kind of personality for karma yoga for me to transition.
Yes. Before you get into the meditation, you should have at least some amount of maturity in karma yoga. That is why meditation is not for everyone. Like a person who is, like leading a cantankerous life, kao piyo, maja karo, and then, meditation is not for him. First, he has to get into karma yoga first. And only after getting some amount of maturity through karma yoga, then only even he will have an appreciation for meditation. Okay.
Correct.
So you will never attain perfection in karma yoga. If you say let me completely attain perfection in karma yoga before going to dhyana yoga, that also will not work. Because it's a never ending process. So certain amount of karma yoga you start, and the moment, and just the very fact that you are attending these classes means you have already reached a certain amount of maturity in karma yoga. Otherwise you won't even be interested in such things. Okay. So the very fact that you are interested in these things means you already have the maturity. So go for meditation, no problem, right? Only thing is, if your mind is getting into a negative mode, immediately stop meditation, do some chanting, do some reading, and go for a walk, right? Listen to some lecture, distract your mind, right? Don't let your mind run into the rabbit hole of a negative thought. Distract your mind the moment your mind gets into a negative thought. Right? And when your mind is calm, sit and do viveka. Okay, what happened? Why did this happen? You do a calm analysis, right? Over a walk, maybe. Instead of doing and sitting and meditating, you do the self-analysis when you are walking, or so don't do it in meditation. Self-analysis, viveka has to be done in out of band, right? Then you come back. When your mind is calm, then you sit for meditation again.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Jayashree ji, you had a question? Okay, fine. So I think we are out of time. So we will stop here, and we will continue the discussion next week. Sorry, tomorrow. Tomorrow, yeah. So we'll continue tomorrow. So we will discuss. We'll take more questions tomorrow. You can think about whatever we discussed today, and tomorrow we'll discuss more, and we will also proceed further and understand better more. Okay, so we'll chant Om Shanti Shanti and we'll end. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Ram Krishna. Jai Ram Krishna.